Right, is this working? Perfect. Yeah, here we go. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video for the channel. Really appreciate everyone who has commented, liked, subscribed. It's nice to see people are enjoying the content that I'm putting up. This video is going to be on the build of the L24 engine, pretty much how I did it. I'm going to be recording some voiceovers here over the video for bits that I was kind of just too busy working to be talking through exactly what I was doing, and it's really long, so I have it condensed as much as I possibly can and just adding some voiceovers onto it just to help show exactly the steps that I did. I have all my gear here from when I used to be doing the podcast before with the lads from the drifting, so I want to really get to use all this gear again. Hopefully I might get to interview some drifters or people involved in drifting, motorsport. So if you are interested in getting an interview or to help showcase who you are, get in contact with me. We don't have to meet up. I can do it from right here. I can give you a phone call, record it right through the desk, and we can post it for a video for everyone to see. So if that is some content that you would be interested in hearing, let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, here is the build for the engine of the Laurel. What could possibly go wrong? So before it came time to assemble the engine, it was really important to make sure that all of the treads were clean after painting it. This meant getting the tap and die set out and cleaning all the treads on the engine block and where the sump-pan bolts onto the bottom. So before I installed the crankshaft, I applied pre-lube to the engine to help prevent excessive wear on the initial startup of the engine. All of the main caps are loosely tightened down here. In order to get a correct reading for when you're torquing the bolts, make sure all the treads are clean and oiled. I done this by dipping the bolt into some oil before threading it into the engine block. Also check the arrows on all the main caps to ensure that they're pointing towards the front of the engine. With the rear main cap, run a small bead of sealer in the grooves on each side. Now Nissan recommends to install the rear main seal after the crank is in the block. However, I done this beforehand to make sure that the seal was square to the crank. The main bearing cap bolts are tightened to 33 to 40 foot-pounds and must be done in the correct sequence, starting from the centre and working your way out on each side of the engine. After, I hit the end of the crankshaft with a rubber mallet and checked the crank for float. Using a dial gauge, I made sure the play was within 2 thousandths to 7 thousandths of an inch. Once I was finished all this, it was time to gap and install the piston rings. Right, so just finished putting the crankshaft into the engine. I have, as you can see, I just threw a cover over it just to stop any dirt from going down onto the crank. Just keep it protected, I suppose. The next thing that I want to do is I want to clean all the pistons before I start to put the new piston rings on and gap the rings and all the likes of that. So you can see here's the pistons now as they came out off the engine. Now they have a bit of carbon buildup, and also I'm just going to give them a bit of a clean. I gave this one a bit of a quick clean here. I used some carb cleaner on it to just see how that would work, and yeah, it seemed to work out really well. So just going to clean off all the pistons before they go back into the engine, just to get all the carbon off it. Just want to have everything as clean as possible. I have to check the piston rings before they go in, make sure they're gapped properly. I love when everything's going back together in a way that works for me. No, I'm happy with the progress I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, no, I'm really happy with how everything's going together so far. Want to get this engine assembled as soon as possible, not as quick as possible. Don't like doing things quickly. As we all know, I like to take my time. So clean everything off, get them ready, get them installed, and after this then, it's got to be cylinder head. And if you can hear all that squeaking that's going on in the background, that's my dog playing with her squeaky toy. Now the carbon buildup on the pistons wasn't the worst, and it came off easily enough using carb cleaner and a wire brush. I cleaned each of the pistons down to get them as clean as I possibly could. However, once this was done, I discovered something that I really wasn't happy with. Okay, so just finished cleaning off the pistons with the carb cleaner, and I'm after spotting something on piston number 6 that I'm really not happy with, but I can't do a whole lot about it. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see here that you can see where I've cleaned them all. So everything is okay right up until I get as far as piston number 6. And get the zoom right. And you can see there, that looks like the valve has hit the piston at some point, which is not good. And none of the other pistons seem to have any marks on them from any interference with the valves. And that's pretty worrying for me because I don't have any spare pistons for this engine. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. I don't know where I'm going to get a piston. It's not as if like there's loads of these engines around. And it's the 24. So which leads me to think that when I start to disassemble the cylinder head, that I'm going to have more than likely a bent valve. Fingers crossed I don't, but like if there's a mark like that, if the piston is gouged like that, more than likely I've got a bent valve. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get myself a cup of coffee, calm down a little bit, and then I'm going to start swapping out the bearings on the con rods, change the piston rings, check them in the bore, gap them, and start the reassembly on them. Gonna get coffee first. So you can see my OCD is getting to me here a little bit. I've got cylinder 1 to 6, I've got top, middle and the bottom ring, and I also have the gaps that they need to be for each of the rings. So just so I'm not mixing them up as I have them checked out with each one. And I still have the pistons organised here from cylinder 1 to 6. So as I'm doing it with the first rings in here, using the piston to bring them down the block, checking see what the gap is, whether it's okay. Hopefully I'm not going to have to change the gap on any of the piston rings here. So the first one done, I'm going to do the next 5. There's no point in me recording the whole process of what's going on, but I'm just going to show you a quick video, I suppose, quick update on what way I'm doing it. So yeah, rear end Rebecca, Jesus. So yeah, back to building. When it came time to gap on the piston rings, I used each corresponding piston to each cylinder. I pushed each piston ring down into the block and checked each one to make sure that they had the correct gap using a feeler gauge. The reason I went so far down into the block to measure this because there's less wear lower down in the block than there would be at the top. And once I had finished this, it was time to fit the rings to the pistons. Right, cool, so all piston rings, they are tested. The only one that I had an issue with was the second one in cylinder number 5. I had to gap that out a little bit more because I wasn't happy with it. Get the feeler gauge in at the front, but not at the, sorry, it would be the inside of it, but not towards the outside. So I had to just scrape a little bit off, not much, just a small, tiny bit. And yeah, everything's perfect. So start throwing the pistons in, well, gently. Have my shells here. I'm going to put them all in, and hopefully before I go to bed tonight I'm going to have all 6 pistons inside of this engine ready to rock. Well, not really ready to rock, but installed and ready for the next part of it. I'm getting a little bit tired now, a bit excited, and losing my train of thought, so calm down a little bit, then we'll get on with the pistons. There for the top. Bottom ones have a little groove in it. They have grooves. Oh, the grooves. They're wrong. The bearings are wrong. They're miles out. They're not even a small bit out. They're really wrong. They're really, really wrong. So this is the old shell. And this is the new shell. As you can see, they're not even close. Because the shells are wrong, I'm not going to be able to install the pistons. But because I have all the piston rings all laid out in order, and I have all these here and I can't leave them sitting around for ages, I'm going to fit all the piston rings now. So that's just one step done. And then I'll bag them all up individually and protect them so they're nice and clean and ready for when I do get the right ones. So you can't even reuse these old ones because, like, you can see, but I don't know whether you can see or not. because you can see the you can also see it there, that the bronze has started to come through on this already. Ah, look, it's not the end of the world. Well, it is for me, and I can't even reuse the old ones now because I've mixed them up. So, after all the stuff that I've gone through today, making sure everything's right, cleaned up, all the likes of that. Number 1, the bearings are wrong. Number 2, the piston rings are wrong. And I can't even reuse the old ones, because I broke 2 of them taking them out. Disaster. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do now. Suppose keep looking for parts, but like I've run out of money. I've run out of cash. Like, I'm saving to get a house. I just don't have money to buy it anymore. I have the RB20 Neo there from L24 Skyline, the 2 litre non-turbo. But I need an ECU, CAS, flywheel, clutch, gearbox. Trying to weigh up my options here. Do I make a lovely coffee table out of this beautiful engine that I'm after painting? Like, I could cut my losses now and put a better engine into the car, because I have a better engine there. I just need to buy a hell of a lot of extra bits. But then I could sell the bits that I've gathered for this, like the 6-branch manifolds, the timing chain kit, the gaskets, the headset, everything. I'm just going to assess the situation, see what I'm going to do. See how hard it is to find these other piston rings, bearings. I don't know, I'm just jumping to conclusions now. I'm just not thinking right, I'm just pissed off. Anyway, so look, that's... I'm so very sorry to end this video on such a downer, but look, these things happen. There's no point in getting too worked up over it. Anyway, hit that like, subscribe, let me know it. Let me know in the comments how much of an idiot I've been. So anyway, look, chat to you soon.